All right, all right. Welcome back to the Military Retirement Podcast. Great to have you, John.
Well, welcome back. Well, you almost said green logbook, didn't you?
I
You're like,
almost
welcome
say
back
I'm
to
so
the.
used to saying it. I'm so used to saying the green logbook. Welcome back to the green. No, not the green logbook yet. Not today. It is the
Not
Military
today.
Retirement Podcast today. So that's the cool thing about it, right? Our Sundays are dedicated to Military Retirement Podcast, and that gets pushed over to Spotify, Apple, and Reads Across America Radio Network on iHeartRadio. So very
Yep.
cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Welcome everybody in the chat. I'm seeing Navy Cop is with us. Rich Salinas is with us. Good stuff. Awesome. Tony Slaughter is with us. Excellent. Excellent. And John, man, how's your week been going, dude? You're in a different office. I noticed that. So we talked a little bit about it. And you moved from the Tony Montana Sopranos office to now I don't know where you are. You're in another office.
Undisclosed.
What's going on?
Undisclosed locations always.
Undisclosed.
Yeah. We've been putting together the plans for getting everything together. It's been a little bit stressful, but putting the plans together to start renovating the place that we're at, the house we bought. And that means ripping out floors, knocking down walls, putting up doors. A lot of construction is going to be happening. We've got the whole patio outside, like filled with pallets of tiles and all kinds of construction stuff. So we're going to slowly work on that day by day. We started the other day, and I don't know if you can see, this is like the good old office where I was recording at before.
Yeah.
So that was us starting to tear down those glass tiles and get those out of the way. So now there's a big gaping hole in the wall. The door has been ripped out, and got to rip everything apart and then put it back together again.
Dude, that is the wonders and the pleasures of construction, right? I'm kind of doing the same myself, but in the backyard. We're redoing our entire backyard landscaping. Yep. And what I did was I watched my landscaper do the front yard, and I'm like, start rubbing my chinny chin here. I'm thinking, I can rip out sprinkler systems and put in drip systems, and which is it's not that hard. It's honestly not that hard. I taught my kids how to do it. Good teaching. I guess moment. Yes, good teaching moment for the kids. So excellent stuff, man. But yeah, there's been a whole lot going on, man. This week, one thing that you mentioned to me that I did have a question about was you had to take a break from school, right? This semester, and I'm curious because I've not had to do that yet. But things can get rocky sometimes, so I may have to do it in the future. How does that work when you're using VRE? Do you just let your counselor know? Do you not get the monthly housing allowance payment for that month? Like what happens?
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for the outcomes. I got a couple weeks into class and I was really falling behind. I was trying to keep up with it, and there was just too much stuff going on, too much running around, too much picking up construction stuff, work, and everything else. So the first thing I did is I called my school, called my school and talked to them and asked them about the policy, and they informed me of the policy of how it goes when you drop class. I was taking 2 classes, which is probably over my limit. Like I've been taking normally 1 class per semester, and 2 was just a little bit too much. So trying to go back between the 2 of those classes was a little bit much. I mean, it was great material, it was great information, a lot of reading. I didn't realize how much extra reading it was going to be this time around. So yeah, I called the school, I talked to them, and we walked through it, and they're like, yep, thanks for letting us know. Whenever you need to, just go in the school website and you can drop the class in there. And then what I did immediately after that is I emailed my BRNE counselor before I dropped the class and gave him the heads up. And he was like, yep, whatever you got to do, take care of yourself, make sure you're healthy, make sure you're not over stressed with things, because it was really stressing me out. Not the fact that it was schoolwork that had to be done, it was the fact that I wasn't getting it done. It was really putting a lot of pressure on me internally. So rather than stress myself out with that pressure, I just said, I'm just going to cut these classes for now, whatever the consequences are. So I believe, from what I understand so far, the VRNE doesn't really, like, they care, but they're not going to ding me for it, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the housing allowance will just kind of go away for this semester or whatever.
Mm. Yeah. So that's tough, man. Cause I may have to go through that myself here in a few. I just didn't know if it was just as simple as an email going out uh, to the counselor or what. So let's see here.
Yeah.
Let's just removing some of these comments here. So sometimes we get some crazy comments in here. So just we remove some of these. We pay no attention to them, but just quietly scoot them on out of here. So yeah,
Maybe cut.
Navy cop, man. Yeah. Do your cop thing, dude. All right. So yeah, dude, I'm glad. So just know, if you're taking VRNE, if you're using all that stuff and you maybe have to drop a class or something like that, that's what it is. You just email your counselor. Time will tell what happens then. I assume that the monthly housing allowance doesn't get paid out during that month when you don't take classes, right? So, I mean, that's just a given, right? But that also means that it extends your degree plan a month. So it's not like you're really losing it. It's just you're going to get it later on.
Well, that's the good part of it. The VRE counselor, and again, your mileage may vary from VRE counselor to VRE counselor, because, as you know, in California it's different, and they've got different timelines and different ways of getting back in touch with you. My counselors are really, really great. I give them kudos whenever I can. But yeah, I mean, even from the beginning, over the course of the first few months of doing VRE, the meetings that we had, like once a month or once every 2 months, he would be like, take your time, man. Like, you've got 4 years to complete this. You don't have a ton of classes, so you don't have to do a full class load from start to finish because you've carried over a lot of credits. He's like, just take your time. Don't stress out. If anything's bothering you specifically, especially if it's VA related for VA disability claims or whatever, if it's related to that specifically, definitely take a knee, take a break. He's like, but don't stress. He's like, that's the beauty of VRNE is compared to like a GI Bill. A GI Bill is just go, and it's month by month. And the VRNE is a little bit more relaxed, and they give you a little bit more leeway as far as if you need to take a break, if you need to take a vacation, if you're going somewhere with your family, if something happens, like, you could just let them know. And as long as they're in the loop, in my case at least, they really haven't given me any issues.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is some stuff with the VRNE, and it's, if you're taking a hybrid course, you don't always have to be in class, right? So, like, for instance, I'm taking a short getaway here, so I'm just going to bring my laptop with me and knock out some homework while I'm there. I can knock it out at night when we're back at our Airbnb, just hanging out, and during the day, just go out and do what I got to do. And a lot of times they're lenient if you talk to the school. Like, I've had my last class, and it was kind of funny to me, not hilarious. It was kind of funny to me. One of my group, the people in my group, you get grouped up with folks as soon as you get in class, and then these folks, then the teacher, we're waiting for the teacher, and like, she didn't show up. Like, where is she? And then we got some, like, IT guy walks in, and he's like, oh yeah, your teacher's going to be on Zoom. Apparently she's in Texas right now. And I'm like, couldn't this have been put in an email to us? Like, hey, just everybody be on Zoom. And one guy's like, dude, he was fuming. The guy sitting next to me, he's like, he throws his pencil or his pen down. He's like, some BS, man. I drove an hour to get here, and I'm like, yeah, well, that sucks, right? Because that could have actually been put in an email or something like, hey, don't show up, just show up on Zoom. But we're essentially talking to the teacher on Zoom, and it's not even done, like, correctly. It's like it didn't work over the microphones or the speakers and stuff. So, they're going to throw a wrench in there sometimes. Sometimes you need to adjust. And this was one of those times. Luckily, I only had to drive like 15, 20 minutes away, but this guy is coming in an hour away. So, fuming. So, but you can normally call in from Zoom and they're pretty lenient about that because other students do that as well.
Yeah.
Let me see here, just reading some of these comments here. Okay, all good. It looks like we're up to date. Hey, you know what? Today is going to be about veterans helping veterans, man. And John, that's what we're all about, dude. We're all about, each one teach one, and lending out a helping hand. We don't ask for anything in return. We just really want to put out some good information for the masses. I get excited personally when I find something out and when I read something and I'm like, you know what? I got to make a video. Like, I want to push this stuff out as soon as possible, because it's fun for me to get the information out there, right? To share the knowledge. So today we're going to bring on some gentlemen who know about this, know about helping veterans out, because they themselves are veterans and part of AMVETS, American Veterans. And it's an organization I don't know too much about. I know they're out there. I see their locations and their trucks coming around, going around.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, let's figure this out. Let's actually get somebody on here who knows something about AMVETS, and who more than a commander and another gentleman who can talk to us about what veterans are leaving on the table. So with that, let's introduce Mr. Tony Goodesmith here. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Vic and John. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So Tony, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You are with AMVETS. How did you get involved with this?
Well, after serving in the U.S. Army as a combat signaler and officer for almost 20 years, I served in the Desert Storm era. Came into the military, right after high school, 17 years old, just young kid, from the East Harlem section of New York City. And my father said, instead of going to college, why don't you just join the military and, stay there for 20 years and become a general? And I said, I laughed, and I didn't become a general, but I stayed almost 20 years, and it taught me a lot. Was able to see the other side of democracy when I was serving in Germany during the early 1980s, and the wall was still up. And my unit sent me out to East Berlin, so I saw the East German guards goose stepping like you see in the movies, and that was a little eye-opening, and saw the starkness of the availability of freedom and all the things we take for granted, like the choice of commercial goods and clothing and cars and what have you, all the comfortable accoutrements. None of that was available. It was really like a starving nation on that side of the world. So when President Reagan said, Gorbachev, tear down that wall, that's what he meant, because those people were really suffering over there. And I saw it firsthand. But that was a reason why I was continuing and dedicated to serve even after my time on active duty. I came back home and I said, I want to continue to serve. So I found this organization called AMVETS, which stands for American Veterans, which started by Congress in 1944. Actually, 1947, Harry Truman came up with Public Law 216 for VSOs, as you call it, Veteran Service Organizations, and AMVETS is one of the longest serving VSOs in the nation because of that law. And we represent about 16 million veterans across the country and their families. Doesn't matter whether you're with the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, even Space Force, you can join our organization if you have served honorably and you have a DD-214 that says so. And we're dedicated to helping veterans with transitioning, from regular service into civilian life, helping them with careers, job education, resume writing, also with obtaining their benefits, their veteran benefits, also disability benefits. A lot of our wounded warriors come out of the military, and they have ailments, they have things that are not able to help them sustain their normal lives with their families. So we help them to ascertain their 100% disability benefits through the claim process. And we have a whole staff of veterans that help with that free of charge. So one of our first vice commander, his name is Steve Humsey, and he'll talk about that later.
Excellent, excellent. And when you were active duty, what service or what branch were you serving in?
I was in the Army.
Army, right on. And how long did you serve there?
I served about 19 months, 6 months, combined with my reserve training and duty, and also with the New Jersey National Guard.
Right on, man. Right on. So New Jersey, right? So we probably grew up around the same area up in well, you said New York, Harlem, right? I grew up right across.
Born and raised. Yeah, I was born and raised in New York City, but I lived in New Jersey for 10 years in the shore area down by Aberdeen Township, the Mattawan area. If you know Jersey, you know exit. So exit 120 off the Garden State.
Exit. It's been quite a while for me, but yeah, I was over on the North Jersey side for much of my life. So my kids always they ask me if I would consider moving out there. I said no, not where I used to live, not in North Jersey. No. But we're good. We're good here. No, but that's great, man. And the Army, and you found AMVETS, and curious, and we're getting also some questions here from the audience as well. Actually, if we want to bring it up here, Tony Slaughter says, hey, Commander, how are you? I'm working with the VSO. I don't think he is convinced about my issues from the past. How can I convince him? I don't know if you have any words of wisdom for this gentleman. I don't know if it's a matter of convincing more so than showing the facts and the details about what happened while in service.
I'm not sure I understand the question. The facts about what are the facts that he's looking for?
Yeah, so that's hard because PFAS issues. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh,
but I mean, we can. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's talking about contamination from PFAS and exposure to contaminants. Yeah, our benefits officer, Steve Humsey, can answer those questions about how you can receive compensation for your exposure to PFAS or Agent Orange, or there's an act that Congress just approved, and I think that covers all of those contaminants. So Steve could talk to that. He's our benefits counselor, and he's also a Army nurse. He's also is a registered nurse as well, and also he served in the Army as well, just like myself.
Okay, we'll answer. We'll get right into that after the fact. But let us know how is AMVETS helping vets these days? I mean, we have all these organizations out there that are helping veterans, and a lot of folks are saying, it should be more so that the VA are helping, but we need these organizations when a lot of the VA really doesn't come through on things, right? So how is AMVETS helping out veterans?
And that's a great question, Vic, because that's why AMVETS and other VSOs came about, to fill the gap and the void when the VA falls short. And we do a lot of lobbying on the Hill to pass laws to push the VA and our government to do more for veterans, because we've served, many of us honorably. Some of us served and gave the ultimate sacrifice So we absolutely deserve our benefits and everything that comes with serving. So we help with, as I mentioned, lobbying. Every year we go on the Hill and we lobby Congress to pass laws, and we call it storming the Hill. And we have a packet here I want to show you that we come up with. AMVETS comes up with. It's called the Legislative Advocacy Week. Can you see that? So we put together a packet of laws that will strengthen the lives of veterans. And it's basically all the priorities that are listed. When we come up with these priorities at our convention, as a body, we have about 3,000 veterans that come together every year at our convention. We're having one in August. It's going to be our 80th convention in Orlando, Florida, in mid to late August. And we come up with a slate of different issues and ideas that will serve veterans and their families, and we bring it to Congress every year. So that's one of the things we also do. We also have developed a fund through your donations. We have what we call a Never Forgotten Fund, and that is a fund to help veterans who fall short financially, whether they need help with paying their mortgage, paying their light bill, their energy bill, help for college, help for any assistance in their daily lives. We help them with the Never Forgotten Fund, and that fund is powered through donations. So we are always asking for the donations from our corporate sponsors, from like-minded individuals, other veterans, helping veterans in order to fulfill the needs and the gaps that the VA can't cover for our vets.
Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind, Tony, I'd like to bring up a question from the audience from Mr. Branhan. He's asking, what is the number one issue AMVETS is focused on supporting vets currently? Like either number one or maybe even like top 5, but number one thing that's on the minds of the AMVETS body as a whole when it comes to helping veterans out.
Well, a lot of veterans are having issues with housing. Homelessness is a number one issue as well across the country. And our Never Forgotten Fund helps to address that, as well as the AMVETS national headquarters has built a AMVETS Charities Family Center. And that renovations have already begun. And this facility, if you could see it right here, will be available hopefully first quarter of next year. But we're about $150,000 short of for its completion. But all the donations that are going to the AMVETS Family Services Center, Charity Center, is greatly appreciated. And this will help aid not only veterans who need a great place to stay that's safe, secure. They serve 3 square meals a day. There's education and veteran job training and resources available there. And it's located in Washington, PA, Washington, Pennsylvania. So that's our number one issue is funding, because funding, as you know, all across the country is falling short, due to a lot of the fiscal crisis that families and our current economic situation is going through. So that's pretty much one of the issues that we have right now is fundraising and helping our vets with jobs, with careers, and also with the homelessness population.
Tony, I got a question for you, man. I've always been curious about this because I come across different commanders from different organizations. Right now I come across you, AMVETS commander. What is your toughest job as a commander of a station? Probably a pretty large station in the DC area.
Yeah, the good question, Vic. The toughest job is really recruiting and getting your members that are dedicated to the mission and understanding that, you know, we are veterans, we are volunteer VSO group, and that we are really doing this, you know, to help other veterans like ourselves. Because when you go to the VA, you see a lot of veterans, you know, in the lobby after their appointments, and a lot of them are lonely, and they need each other to have that type of camaraderie like they had when they were actively serving in the military. A lot of veterans miss that. So that's what, you know, our post is very well known for, that, you know, we develop a great brotherhood, sisterhood among ourselves to keep that spirit of serving and camaraderie, and that we got your six, we got your back. And you know, even some of our members or veterans have invisible wounds. They can share those wounds with each other rather than sharing it with, you know, the public, or, you know, even some of their family members. They don't feel comfortable, but they feel comfortable coming together with their AMVETS brothers and sisters. That's why we really call ourselves a family, and we're dedicated to continuing to serve in this capacity.
And I know the recruiting is a big deal, because right before this live stream started, you were asking me to asking me to join AMVETS too. You put on your salesman hat there for a second, or your AMVETS salesman hat, right? And try to recruit me there. So
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Right here.
You brought the brochures.
Yeah, I
And the
brought you a
challenge coin.
Vic. Never forgot.
Oh man. No, that's good. That's good, man. Glad to accept all that stuff. We do have some questions here from the audience here, and curious. I mean, if you don't know, then you don't know. That's fine. But this one from Navy Cop, curious about AMVETS' take on the Take Control of America's Act, HR 9237. Seems to be controversial among ESO organizations, as well as many vets who see issues with it. Now, I will say that this HR 9237 has since been stalled. It seems like it was supposed to be getting voted on, I think, on Friday, and was stalled. Not saying that it's been completely died or anything. It just has been stalled. Curious on your take, if you care to answer that.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with the HR 9237, but our legislative commander, which is on a national level, our third vice, would know more about that. And we do have a paid lobbyist that handles all of those issues. So I could get back to you on where AMVETS stands on that. But you know, if it's for veterans, we're definitely for it. And we're, like I said, we're on the Hill quite often, and we have our own legislative committee and advocacy week that we storm the Hill every year. And us being located here in Washington, D.C., we're in close proximity. So if you have any of those issues like that, I'll be glad to address your congressman on your behalf as a commander of the AMVETS post number 12 right here in Washington, D.C.
When you guys take these things to the Hill, and you have, is it safe to say the only time that all these issues are kind of consolidated together is this meeting you're going to have in August? And when you go to the Hill, like what does the success rate look like for that? Because I'm really very on the outside of like storming the hill. I've never done that before. And as far as like pushing policy and advocacy in Congress in Washington, D.C., like I understand the concept of it, but I'm curious of like what the success rate looks like for that. Like if you take 10 bills up on the Hill to try to advocate for those, how much pushback do you get on those 10 bills? And do any of the 10 get through, or do 1% or 10%, or how does that kind of work? Do you happen to know?
It depends, especially when we come together and collaborate with other VSOs like American Legion, VFW, DAV, etc. We have much more of a success rate. Like with the PACT Act, we were able to pass that a few years ago successfully because of the collaboration of all the combined VSOs, as well as with AMVETS leading the charge. The Richard Starr Act is another one that we're working feverishly to pass. And we were recently on the Hill, I believe that was last, October or November of last year. So any of these bills that we come together at a convention and say that we're going to address, we usually not work just alone, but we work with the other VSOs that I mentioned, and that increases our success rate.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always going to be a battle and trying to advocate for those kind of things for veterans. And there's so many things to advocate for, right? It's just a lot of stuff. And I commend you and all the other VSO organizations, the Legion and the VFWs and everybody else out there advocating for veterans every day. I don't feel like it's a lost cause. I don't feel like it's it's definitely an unsung heroes kind of thing where you've got to take a lot of firepower to the Hill and bring a lot of paperwork and documentation and probably case studies and all kinds of stuff that you got to bring with you to try to push these things in Congress and DC. And then you're also fighting against all the other thousands of bills that they're reviewing as well at the time, right? It's not just veterans issues. It's everybody in the country has got somebody advocating for something to try to create new laws or change laws that have been created in the past that are maybe not as recent and up to date as they should be. So I commend you, your posts, and all the other VSO organizations out there. I do want to ask you really quickly about how somebody, if they want to get involved, if they want to become a member of AMVETS, because we have you on the show and we're talking about it either way, or any of these other organizations. Maybe they don't know, maybe they just got out of the military, maybe they've only been in for a few years and just got out. Not like us old salty dogs who've been around for 20 plus years in the military. But if they wanted to get involved and find out and what kind of mindset would you want them to think about when they're figuring out which organization they want to join, how they want to get involved and help and become a member of a bigger community to do things for the veteran community as a whole?
Well, I think that's a good question, John. They can think about AMVETS Post 12 DC or their other local posts. We have many posts throughout the nation, but we're located here in the DMV area, which is DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. We serve over 3,000 veterans in this area or more. I think it's, if you include their families, it's 300,000. But we have about, our active membership is over 3,000. That's what I meant. But you want to join AMVETS because the unique thing about AMVETS is that you don't have to be disabled. You don't have to have served in a veteran war. You don't have to be an old salty dog like us. You just have to have a zeal and desire to do something that is bigger than yourself. That's why we all raised our right hand and swore allegiance to the Constitution, because we wanted to serve this nation. But all you need is a honorable discharge, DD 214, as well as the zeal and the ability to continue to serve, and that's it. I would say one thing is that we also help with financial literacy, helping veterans, with job training, career training, also entrepreneurship if they want to start their own business. We have companies that will train you and help you start your own business. There's also scholarships available through our partnership with UMGC, that's University of Maryland Global Campus. And they're offering about 17 free scholarships to veterans and their caregivers. So you can take a look at our website, AMVETS post12dc.org. That's AMVETS post12dc.org. And all that information is will be listed there. And you can also reach out to me and also our executive staff.
Absolutely, man. You know what, Tony, you mentioned the financial part of it, and I know we have another gentleman on standby here in the background. I'm gonna pull up Mr. Steve here to the stage. I I saw him in the background. He's like,
He's
I
nervous.
said his name.
It's like, uh-oh.
Steve, what's going on? How you doing, man?
I'm fine, thank you, family. Happy to
Welcome.
listen.
Oh no, all good.
Yeah,
All good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm curious about your role in AMVETS, man. So what exactly do you do, and how can you help out fellow veterans?
Oh, thank you. We do a lot of stuff for veteran. As a first vice commander, also a Jordan and service officer. Like the commander was mentioning, we really focus on empowering our veteran to live at their full potential. And one of that is to educate them about what they can have access to. So they can have access to many benefits that sometimes they doesn't know, and it's okay because we have spent some time to learn ourselves, and we want to share that with them because the VA actually how it's built is different from their time when they was in service. So a lot of people have a back experience that was based on the how the VA starting, and a lot of improvement have been happened. And that is why with the legislation that we are focused on, we can really update them about what is accessible for them. We are not only focused on the get them 100%, but also get them what other benefits is available for them. There's a lot of stuff that veteran can really navigate and get access to if they have knowledge.
So what is the biggest benefit that you think that veterans are potentially missing out on?
Yeah, I think the biggest one I see is to get enrolled with the VA. More veteran, when we get out of the military, we doesn't have a formal transition process to say, hey, what you're gonna do after your service. I will say the first starting point is to get enrolled with the VA. The VA, when you are within 1 year, when you just get out of the service, can really pull up directly your record from the military. And that way, you still like in the service, having access all of your information, don't need to file um, uh, the FOIA Act, the Freedom of Act, to get access to your
For you.
record. So when you get that one, when you get enrolled, the second step is to register with one VA medical center. One VA medical center, the one that is close to you. And that way you can have you don't necessarily need to be service connected to get enrolled with to get registered. But when you submit the claim, and if you are service connected, they're gonna update your profile over there. So I would say the more measured thing is veterans don't use the VA healthcare system. It's not that only 28% of veterans use the VA system, and on that population, only 3% for people over 65 use the VA system. So you can understand how the gap is, how our work is, how you have to necessarily for baby boomers, all of them, almost 97% of them are not registered. If you don't register, you don't have access to the major benefit you earn for your whole life. One of my pain point and big pain is when I see a 92 years old veteran who had never applied for claim, had never used the VA system. I just try to think about how many years he have lost. Over 70 years of service have been lost. And the VA only count when the day you get approved. So for those veterans, maybe they could have be having a better future if they know how to get access, and that is our role. That's why we have veteran every day. It's like really a mission changing for us.
Yeah. I can only imagine how many like older veterans there are that just simply don't know the process, and they lose out on so many years of potential VA benefits that they could have gotten. Right. And I don't know how exactly it works with a back pay, but I have to believe that there's not a lot. I mean, if you missed out on 40 years of establishing veteran benefits, they're probably not going to give you 40 years of back pay, right? It just starts at like whenever you actually get the benefit, right? The percentage. So I have to believe that all those years are kind of gone. So that's awesome. I'm glad that we have organizations like AMVETS out there who are helping out. We do have a question from a Mr. Scotty here in the chat. Commander Goodesmith, is there a way to get AMVETS in Southern Oregon? Now, would somebody need to apply for that to become a commander, to start something up like an AMVETS station in Oregon or something like that? How exactly does that work?
Yes, you could actually start a post. If you go to our national website, amvets.org, you can start a post with 10 members. That's all you need to start a post. And you can get a charter from the State Department, not the State Department in DC, but the AMVETS State Department. So Oregon, I believe, has a chapter or a department. So if you go to our website and just email me your information, I can get you in touch with the Oregon AMVETS State Commander.
All right. Excellent. So there we go. There's your answer, Scotty J. Well, gentlemen, I mean, John, if you got anything else, gentlemen, I really appreciate your information, your time coming on and telling us how AMVETS is really helping out veterans.
Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I will try to answer a little bit before I get into the Zoom. I have see a lot of other questions regarding the PFAS.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That the veteran tried to submit. I would like to say that the VA have improved a lot of stuff in their side based on the veteran when the time of service. So based on how when you serve, we have something like the PACTAT, the orange, exposure is just some of them. You have also some claims that have to be submitted through the centralized mail system. That is something like the Canlogen. If you know about it, there's a lot of exposure in Canlogen. So I will say for my other perspective, now that we bring that out, is more veterans don't have the wire assistant, and unfortunately, the person who assists you, if he's not well educated, he could misguide you, not by purpose, but because he have to be involved on the training. At the VA side, there's a training that we take every month. If a VSO doesn't do that, it will be missing a lot of things. So for those veterans who want to apply for those specific kind of benefit, I will say if the VSO you work with do not satisfy you, it's okay. Find another one. there is a lot of other VSO like us who want to serve, even if you are not in our state. We can still serve you. We can still provide you the right information. And it's not a good way to knock in the wrong wall. If you have been trying this VSO for over 2-3 years, it doesn't have a success, please try to get another one. That's it.
Yeah, and I do have a question alongside of that. You bring up great points about that, and it's very, very helpful. And I appreciate you for giving us that information. I do want to ask, just because by virtue of where I happen to be at, and I see it firsthand here on the ground overseas, in Europe specifically, I'm not sure about the Pacific Theater, like in Japan and Korea and those places. I'm not 100% sure, but in Europe specifically, in Germany and Italy and Spain and these places over here in Western Europe, there's not a ton of VSO representation. I think maybe we have one person sitting in Germany, like maybe in Ramstein or wherever, and they kind of handled the VSO process for, everybody overseas who's getting out, whether they're in Italy or in Spain or in, wherever, Romania, wherever they happen to be. And I'm just curious about folks that are overseas that need to reach back and get in touch with VSOs. The way I experience it from the VR&E side of things is they have a consolidated group over in Pittsburgh, and that group basically handles all the overseas, at least Europe, overseas folks. Is there something like that with your organization, or maybe even other organizations, if you know, that they have a consolidated kind of localized group of folks who handle just specifically overseas veterans? Because literally there's very minimal representation, and it can be tough because then they have to do like the CMP exams out on the economy with local doctors and stuff like that. So I can see how they work it, but I'm curious if there's any other avenues of approach other than that one belly button that you can push in Ramstein.
Yes, John, that is a very great question. It really had me think. Tony, the commander, and I, we are alumni from UMGC, the University of Maryland campus. They are very national, they're international. So we have campus everywhere. I graduated from there in 2023. As you can see in my bag, that's all time. But when I discover is we have a major impact, we can reach out to all of them because I'm also part of the Alpha Phi Omega with the university. So we have friendship around the world. So one thing I do at the EPO as a VP of services is to try to reach out to those folks. I will say something like, normally a VSO is just try to help veterans if you have the knowledge to do what you're supposed to do. So normally you don't need a VSO if you have the knowledge. So what we do is we can help you. I can help you, John, everywhere you are, just by having you get access to the VS system yourself, teach you how to, show you how you can submit your claim on your behalf, what is the criteria that the VA is looking for, and how to request the right service. And when you submit that way, and adding us, AMVET, as your POA, you have a benefit that if you want to submit an appeal or a supplemental claim or a high-level review, we'll be here on your side. We'll be saying, yes, this veteran know what he was doing. That is the proof. You just technically advocate for you. So yes, is on the plan. We hope that we could have a lot of members joining us. AMVET Post 12, as we are in DC, the capital. So we meet a lot of people with different background. And I will say we highly recommend them to join us, because when you join, you have a chance to participate and to help others veterans. And John, like you see overseas, and the commander always you propose to Vic too. Please join us. We want member. When you will be there, you will be our representative. Don't worry, I will have your back.
Hey, and just to let you guys know, Vic and John, we just recruited our oldest member. He's 102 years old, and
wow.
He's a World War II veteran. You may know the name. I don't know if I should give out his name. Arlesta Brown. Do you know Dr. Arlesta Brown? Look him up. He's a famous guy, and he's a member of AMVETS Post 12 DC right now. And
Wow. Yeah. Look them up here.
yeah.
Remember. No, that's incredible. That's cool. You don't see that too often, especially from that era.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So we want to also give out our email address, which is amvetspost12dc@gmail.com for anybody that wants to stay in touch with us or communicate any questions. We'll be glad to, Steve will get back to you, or I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a few folks in the comments that mentioned that they are near DC, the DC area. So definitely reach out to folks in the comments, reach out to Tony or Steve on this, and I'm sure they'll get back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I do appreciate you all coming on and sharing a little bit of wisdom and what the AMVETS organization is doing for veterans. Thank you for that.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, so that was a good one, man. I really didn't know too much about AMVETS. Like I mentioned, it was always, seeing the stations somewhere similar to, like, just driving around and seeing the VFW. You kind of glance over. Never really stopped at one. Never see the trucks. Never really. I know that they have, like, they're usually doing these clothing drives and things like that. I see the trucks and stuff like that. So I never really looked into them until, we came across Tony and Steve, and, incredible organization from what I understand.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah. And I was actually, we didn't get a chance to even touch on it, but I thought you might bring up the question as far as the what they do in their day-to-day kind of stuff, and maybe touching on what the VFWs, at least in California, it's the VFWs, correct? That are trying to transform the way they operate and try to bring in better solutions and better options for veterans who are hanging out at those posts and stuff like that. Didn't even get a chance to ask the question.
Well, you know what? We still got them in the back room. So if you want to bring them up, Tony, if you're going to come up and answer that question, I'm very curious about that as well.
Because that's something we talk about a lot, right? It's
again. I'm sorry.
The amenities. We talk about the VFWs and stuff like that. And Vic has direct connection with folks in California. They're doing a lot of push to try to change the perception of the VFWs and these different posts, where it's a bar type environment and it's a lot of old timers.
Yeah.
I was just curious about what you guys do there at AMVETS.
Well, we're trying to change that as well. That, the VFW halls have been known to be just that, bear halls or bear gardens, but we are trying to bring AMVETS really into the 21st century as a resource center and a gathering place, for real camaraderie, not just around, a bear stein, but around events like, we go out to bowling, we go together to sporting events. We do a lot of, like, family events, and so it's not like we're all trying to just get away from our wives or girlfriends and just go have a beer. Nothing wrong with that, but we're more resource driven, and we're helping veterans in a myriad of ways, like you said, with developing financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and starting a business, and also with investing, those type of things that, a lot of us that are separated from the military and, got into the real world of just trying to sustain economically and make money for ourselves and our family, we focus on that as well. So that's more like what we focus on, as well as also having fun and traveling, because we do have a travel club as well, because a lot of our vets, want to see the rest of the world, but not just in a war zone, but just, on a beach or on a nice what do you call it? 7 Wonders of the World type thing. So that's what we do. And also, if you think about it, we collaborate with another VSO called In a Soldier's Shoes. This is important. This is a young guy, great guy, and his name is Cain McDonald. And I like to bring him on probably the next podcast as our VSO collaborator. He's developed this program called the Final Tour. So it's kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation for veterans. So any wish you have, it will be fulfilled. Like you said, for that World War II Vietnam vet that's, at, I want to say the end of life, we would fulfill his or her grandest wish, and with donations and funding, we can make that come true. So that's something.
It's excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely have to reach out to this gentleman, a soldier or a soldier's shoes.
In a soldier's
Final
shoes.
tour.
Yeah, look him up, Cain McDonald. I'll send you his information.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I do appreciate that. No, that's great. Now, John, I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's the organizations, these VSO organizations like VFW, even AMVETS, right? I would like, being from the OIF, OEF era, right? I would like to see a lot of these veterans from this era be accepted or be thought about in a lot of these organizations. It's similar to what I see in the comments here, like Scotty J mentioned, hey, VFW 1 block away from me is useless to Cold War veterans. I wouldn't say the ones around me are useless, right? However, they cater more to the older veteran eras. And there's one organization here, one VFW who is kind of changing, breaking that mold a little bit. And I would love to see a lot of more organizations do something like that, where instead of having a full-on bar in there, making it like a drinking culture, be more of a holistic wellness center.
Yeah,
come in where it's accepting of or at least it's inviting to the younger generation, right? I say younger, but I'm in my 40s, right? But the OIF, OEF era type veteran. Because when I do walk into one of these organizations, I'm not a drinker myself. I don't walk in and drink, right? Contrary to popular belief from veterans. Yeah, we were born in a bar, ton tavern, all that stuff.
right.
But some of us choose to get away from that after having done that for years, in our 20s.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So I would love to see something like more holistic wellness centers, maybe doctors on staff or on call, something like that. Wellness warriors. There we go. What is that? Tell me about that.
This is a organization that we collaborated with to help veterans who have not found success, with being treated with their whole life or after the service with pharmaceuticals or conventional DME, durable medical equipment or whatever, and they're looking for an alternative, a holistic alternative to some of their ailments. So we partner with the Wellness Warriors to offer natural ways to help alleviate some of their symptoms and their problems that they have occurred after service.
Excellent. I'm definitely going to check that out. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I think a lot of the organizations need to kind of move towards that, because I think that's where the younger veterans kind of start forming and congregating towards. So I do appreciate that, Tony, man. I really do, and what you guys are doing.
And you're a young guy, so you're not an old salty dog at all. You're in your 40s. Wait till you get your
dude. Tell that to my joints, my back right now, man. All these years of running and all that, I'm definitely feeling it. Every morning is like a new stretch and a new feeling, and and that's the price we pay and the joy we have of living a new breath every day, I believe.
Yeah. Well, join our post, our AMVETS post 12, and we'll get you a month's supply of mushroom coffee. That will get rid of all those joint pains. And all
I've
that
heard of
stuff.
mushroom coffee. I've heard of that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
might to jump back on that.
yeah. I'll send you some samples. Shoot me your address. I'll put it in the mail.
I got you, man. Say less. I got you. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, man.
Thanks again, Tony. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you, Vic and John.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good, man. Hey, thank you for coming up with that question, man. I completely blanked on that, dude.
Yeah, I was waiting
because
for
that
it.
is
I was like,
huge. Oh, dude, that
Yeah.
because it's so huge, right? I mean, even to this day, I can count on one hand, probably half of one hand, how many times I've walked into a VFW or an AMVETS or any organization like that because of the feeling, right? Because it seems to me like a drinking culture. It doesn't so far from what I've seen, and it's slowly changing, right? It hasn't been catered to the younger veteran organization or younger veteran generation. So I'm very curious to see where that's going to go in the next 5-10 years as a lot of the OIF, OEF veterans start, retiring and leaving the service, and how they're going to get involved. And I think that's why a lot of the these other little nonprofits start showing up all over the place, because these big organizations maybe have not shifted that way yet, but slowly but surely I see some progress happening.
Yeah, and I like what Tony said. Is that they're actually partnering with other organizations that are doing stuff, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of trying to build the solution in house, like reach out to somebody who's already doing it. Reach out to somebody who's established. Reach out to somebody who knows what they're talking about, who cares, who is dedicated to that specific thing, whether it's mental health and wellness, or whether it's physical exercise or financial readiness. Like, that's really kind of smart. To do that, to partner with other organizations and build a bigger community. I mean, that's what we do, right? We partner with other podcasters, other YouTube channels, other people out there doing veteran stuff, and we bring everybody together. And this information right here at the end of the chat, it's amazing. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Absolutely, man. And I don't know if we want to get into some of these comments here. I think it'd be fun. I'm going to have some fun with this. All right. I'm going to have some real fun with this because, let me get my Marine hat on real quick. So hold on a second. Let's see here. We got Scotty J, man. You got some excellent questions, dude. I appreciate you. You mentioned that you're 103 miles from the north of the California border. Portlandia is around 4 hours away. So yeah, man. It's I appreciate some of the questions coming from you. Tony Slaughter. Yeah, Tony Slaughter, I'd say go to their website and you can potentially find where they are. Their station and all that. Let me see here. As far as some of these other comments, and I'm not going to give them a platform really, but I would say, hey, look, man, and very easy to either start your own podcast or even do your own thing and get the word out. Cool. Do that. As far as this, we're bringing on AMVETS to learn a little bit more about them. If you don't want to learn, that's fine. There are many other podcasts and YouTube channels out there that you can go to. Let me see here.
But you're definitely keeping our chat going. We appreciate.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. The more you post, the more it goes out to more people. So please continue posting.
I think we even got a $5 donation in there somewhere. Yep, there it is.
Right yeah. I appreciate that. They're to this dude.
GFY for $5, please.
I don't know what that even means, but all good. Yeah. So no, we bring on different organizations, different people to talk about what they're doing for the community. Okay. We don't bring anybody on to bash them or anything like that. So truly appreciate AMVETS coming in and sharing their information. Let me see here. Looking at some of these other comments. All right. I think we're good here. Thank you for your comments. What else you got there, John?
That's it, man. It's whoa, that was cool.
What's that?
Hit the like button. That helps tremendously. What is Diaz?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, goes, yeah, it's our
Oh, we gotta love yourself in the
friends.
chat. Yeah.
all good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people have got opinions, right? And not every opinion is going to be the popular opinion. And he wasn't being malicious or anything in the comments, so he was just stating his facts. He wasn't cussing anybody out, so I appreciate him for that, at least him or her.
Yeah, but there's a time and place, man. You're not going to come into the
Yeah.
live stream and to attempt to take over. So with that, peace out. So no, it's all good, Navy Cop. I appreciate you, buddy. Navy Cop is our moderator for anybody looking to or wondering who Navy Cop is. Awesome dude. Scotty J, absolutely. Hit the like button. That helps tremendously. Absolutely, man. Yes, mushroom coffee is the bomb. I tried mushroom coffee before, and maybe it's because I went with like some low quality stuff, or maybe it's because I was just like eating mushrooms and off the tree outside or picking the mushrooms off and then just grinding them myself and not understanding what the hell I was in. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that trash.
If you were picking them off a tree, you definitely didn't understand what you were doing.
I know. And just drying them out and grinding them and throwing it in water. It doesn't taste good. No, I've tried mushroom coffee before. It's not bad. Not bad.
We got to get so thanks, Rich. We appreciate you both. We got to get you on the show, man. I want to sit down and have a conversation with you. I like your YouTube stuff. I like your channel. I like what you've been doing.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
Rich,
open invite.
So Rich was when I did the trivia night. So I do trivia nights on Wednesday nights, right?
Mhm.
We talk about like different military themed stuff, like popular culture or history. It doesn't always have to be military. It could be anything, right? Just a place to hang out, let loose, and things like that. So live stream on Wednesday nights, trivia night. But yeah, Rich, I invited Rich on the live stream to be kind of a co-host type of thing, for the trivia night. It was awesome. Awesome. We had some laughs. Rich is a great guy, and he's putting out some great information. So I truly appreciate that. And he's an Intel guy too. So he's up there. He's smart. He's smart, right? He's got the knowledge. He does his walk and talks, which I really like, man. Get you at the house. It kind of shows you like, hey, maybe we should be going outside a little bit more, getting outside of our house, doing the walk and talks. The thing with me and walk and talks, like there's too much stuff going on around me. So I'm like, I'm constantly like, my attention goes everywhere. So then I lose track of what I'm saying. So I'm just that type of person, man.
Yeah. It's not the type of mushrooms you're thinking of, Navy Cup. No, they're actually pretty good. I've had some good mushroom coffees in the past. I used to drink them quite often, and I just stopped buying them for whatever reason. But they're pretty good. They're a very good alternative to regular coffee. Tastes similar, or the way they make it tastes similar to coffee. So there's a few good brands out there. I don't know what the best brand is right now, but yeah, it's a great way to wean yourself off of coffee itself and get a less active stimulant in your body.
Oh, dude, I drink way too much of this stuff, man. You remember, like they'd always have in the Marine Corps and the Navy, they call it the coffee mess. I don't know what they call it in the Army or the Air Force, but there's always coffee brewing, brewing. When I worked as a contractor, and I was just having a conversation with somebody about this too. They had like these industrial coffee machines with all these burner or these little warmers and all that. And of course, it was on the Navy base, right? So they had just coffee going on nonstop. Like they go to Costco, buy all these Folgers, and it was Folgers, right? So it's not the greatest coffee. It's something, right? It's not like Italian coffee that you guys, what you're spoiled with over there, with your pinkies up. Over here, you're just pounding the coffee just to be able to push through another hour. And but yeah, man, it was just a ton of coffee, and just the whole room is filled with that smell. And I just got so used to it. It's so convenient just to go back over there and, hey, let me fill my cup up. Let me fill my cup up. So I was going like at maybe 5 cups a day. And I'm like, this is way too much. I mean, I'm wired by the time I get home, and I had trouble sleeping and all that. So I had to kind of go back and push back on that a little bit. Now I think I'm at 2 cups a day.
Yeah, I just do my espresso. It's pretty much it. No sugar, just espresso. Done.
Yeah,
Easy.
espresso's good, man. Espresso's good. I was if I noticed that when you go to Italy and you ask for a coffee after noon time, they look at you like you're freaking crazy, man.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. When I was in Florence, and I just happened to, we're so used to just walking around with a coffee here at any hour, right? And I went over there. I'm like, hey, coffee. And they're like, oh, they're already cleaning up the place. They're like shutting it down or something. It was one of those places where you just go in and there's like minimal seats. It was just filled with people in the morning, just standing up and drinking coffee, talking, and then moving on, their espresso or whatever. So I asked for coffee. They're like, coffee? Okay. Kind of gave me like a weird little look. Now, don't ask for like spiced pumpkin latte or crap like that. I don't think they have that over there unless you go to Starbucks.
Get out. Yeah, we don't have Starbucks here.
No, man. Yeah.
No.
So it's why would you? There's so many freaking good coffee places out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And most of Italy, at least in the south, shuts down between like 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. So, and then on Sundays after 12, everything's closed. So
Yeah, I like that, man. Just taking like the siestas like they do in Latin America, the siestas, and just kind of take time off. That's not the American way though, right? The American way is to push through and get as much as you can done. It's the hustle culture, dude, is what it is.
Yeah,
and,
well, that and excess culture.
Yeah, and I've noticed in my travels around the world, and I'm sure other people have noticed this too, like other cultures, man, they just it's more laid back, where the American side of things is like hustle. How much can I make? How much can I get? Whereas everybody else, like when I went to Italy, when I went to Guatemala, Costa Rica, everybody else is like just chill, it's a little, it's what a contrast between the American side of things, as I'm walking down the beach and I'm seeing these people selling things on the beach, I'm thinking about, maybe I can do some kind of a business here, like, and I'm thinking like businesses and stuff like that. Like, how can I get things done here? Whereas these people are just doing it because either to live, to survive, or whatever. It just seems so laid back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see some of these comments here. Tony Slaughterman, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. Drive-by shootings. No, dude. Please give me some context on that, buddy. Rich Salinas, thanks for the plug. I'm just getting started, so my production value isn't great, but the best way to learn is by doing. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I think nowadays with YouTube, it's about the message. Okay. I see a lot of creators that are like just getting huge just by like not a lot of production, not a lot of lighting, not big microphones or anything like that. Just speaking to the camera in all honesty and just being genuine and authentic. I think that really helps out because you start resonating with people. They're going to want to keep watching you. So yeah, Rich, man, just keep doing your thing, dude. I think your honesty, your authenticity is going to come through. And I mean, I see it already. It's going to help your channel a lot. Navy cop, have a Zoom-based CMP exam tomorrow for an issue I was denied in 2011. Yeah, good luck, man. BSO doesn't see how it can't be a slam dunk, but thoughts and prayers as I head into it. Absolutely, man. Hopefully it is a slam dunk, dude. And, hopefully you get what you've earned, dude. Hopefully you do. Scotty J, I only drink caffeine if I have a headache. I can't take NSAIDs or Tylenol at all.
That's actually good advice. And if you can stomach it and you can put up with it, put a little bit of lemon juice in the coffee. That helps with the whole headache thing. Coffee with lemon juice. Old granny's remedy.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't thought of that before. Usually when I get a headache, I do take the Tylenol and like go to sleep or something. Try to sleep it off. Let me see here. Oh, Tony Slaughter, you said there's a lot going on out there. No, I promise you that at least where I am, there is no drive-by shootings, man. I promise that.
None here.
I probably would not be living where I am if there were drive-by shootings. No. Hellfish Haven, if y'all have a chance to ask them questions at the show, you can ask why the website isn't updated in almost 2 years in their advocacy and DC policies. Okay. Well, that is a good thing that we can bring up. Well, I appreciate that, Hellfish Haven. Let me see here. We will get fed double and triple espressos in Naples when we were working night shifts. Wow. You know, I used to work at this location where we had to make phone calls. It was like one of those like telemarketing places when I was in high school.
Mhm.
And after lunch, the managers would bring in like stacks of Red Bull,
Nice.
and they're like, hey, everybody, grab some Red Bull. Let's go. And I thought, free Red Bull, but I was wired, dude. I'd like pound 2 or 3 of those things. Wired. And of course, it's not good for you, right? Lo and behold. Let's see. Yeah, Rich Salinas has it right, man. When you have your CMP exams, talk about your worst day on your exam, because that worst day is probably going to happen again, right? If you go in there and say, hey, look, my back feels great today. Well, guess what? It looks like your back does not need this rating anymore because you feel great, right?
No.
Yeah, definitely talk about the worst days. When you wake up in the morning and your back is like, you can't stand up straight or whatever. If that usually happens in the mornings, but you're great in the afternoons, that's what you want to talk about. In the mornings, it sucks.
Mine just sucks all day.
Yeah. I'll talk to him. Okay, good. The exam is based on denial. The exam is based on denial due to silence of the issues in my record, but the VSO was able to pinpoint some. Okay, good. Glad they were able to help you. Have you guys ever heard of chest pain because you couldn't breathe in your sleep? No.
I have.
I have the apnea, but I don't get pain in my chest. I got pain in the stomach area, but not in the chest. John, I don't know if you can elaborate on that. I'm not. I don't have that issue.
I don't have sleep, or at least I'm not documented having sleep apnea. I've never been tested for it. I think my wife said I have it, but she's also not a doctor. But she's definitely encouraged me to go get tested for sleep apnea. But no, I've actually experienced chest pains in very weird ways. In not only during the night while I'm trying to sleep, sometimes, but also sometimes during the day. And it's usually like a tightness that starts like around my throat, neck area, and it goes all the way down to like the top of my gut, or right there in the center of my gut. It's really weird, and it hits the chest area right in the center. And I don't know what it is. It just comes and goes once in a while. It's not as bad as the tinnitus ringing, but it definitely happens every once in a while. But I've also had, and I'm actually trying to look into this as well. There's a bunch of, I just saw it on Salty Marine's channel the other day, where he was talking about the ratings that can't really be tested with anything, that aren't, they're not able to back it up with doctor stuff because the doctors can't figure out what exactly is going on. I've had a couple of those incidents in my life. One specifically on active duty, actually twice on active duty. And they were both like chest pain, breathing incidents. One when I was really young, like 20s, first couple of years on active duty, and put me in the hospital for a week. And then another one a couple of years before I got out, which had me in the hospital for a whole day. And they tested everything because I yelled and screamed at them. I said, you're going to test everything, test all the blood tests. Well, I was like, do the whole gamut. Every single test you could do, just do it. The military's paying for it, do it. We did x-rays, we did CT scans, we did everything. And at the end of all of that, they couldn't conclude anything. They were like, we don't know what's wrong with you. You're a healthy guy. We don't know. We have no idea. So,
Man. Yeah, that's sometimes you get something like that, right?
yeah, it's weird shit.
It is. It is. Let me see here. Patrick PNW, morning boys, 395 and a wake up. Awesome. This guy Patrick
go.
counts down his time like it's cool. Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, dude. Almost there. Tuning in late. Curious if DC based AMVET guys do lobby work. They do, and had any inside baseball on HR 9237 updates. Okay, so yeah, this gentleman that we had on there mentioned that he couldn't answer it directly. They have somebody at the national level that can. As far as I know, from what I was tracking, and I did put out a post on this too, like the downsides of 9237, HR 9237. And, you know, as far as I know, it's been stalled, not meaning that it's dead or gone away. It's just been stalled. I don't know when they're actually going to be voting on this stuff, but you can check out the post I put out there, and it's like 6 pages long. You can kind of swipe through it, and it shows you like exactly what is kind of bad about it. And I took this straight off of like Google, right? Like why, what makes it not, I guess, good, you know, for lack of a better term, for veterans, you know, the good and the catch and the ugly and all that stuff. Rich Lena says they do at-home sleep studies now. Yes, they do. They do.
Never knew.
You spend the night. Yeah. So, John, man, when I did my first sleep study, I was, I don't know if I told you, it was in Hawaii, and we went downtown, and, or the clinic was downtown, and it shared a wall with like a nightclub, which was the fucking worst, dude. It was, it was terrible, dude. It like I walked into the clinic. It was a nice clinic, right? It was like they had like these bedrooms kind of set up. It looked like a bedroom, right, with a bed in there and all that, little nightstand so you could set your water down. They put all these little things all over your body, and then there's somebody monitoring you there overnight. So you sleep on this bed. It was the worst sleep I ever had, man. I'm like, I woke up, or through the night, I was like, there's no way that they're going to be able to get an accurate measurement on this sleep apnea thing, because I could barely sleep. It was not like a normal sleep for me.
No.
And because I just hear, like, next door, I just heard people laughing and talking, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, they couldn't find another place for this? But then when I got to San Diego, went to Balboa Hospital, and they gave me a little take-home kit. It was like a little briefcase with things that you hook up to yourself, and I guess it monitors you overnight, and then you turn it in to this Dropbox area and at the hospital. And then I guess it records all your stuff overnight. So they do have these little take-home kits that you can do. Let's see here.
Yeah,
So,
check that out.
I don't, Scotty J, man. I don't know if it was a lollipop club. I don't know what that is, man. I'm not a big nightclub person, dude. I have no idea what was next door. I just remember hearing like people laughing and like music, and it was like on one side it shared it with a nightclub, on the other side it was like a parking garage. So it was not a good place for a sleep study place. Not a good place. The VSO organizations are being very vocal about it due to reducing payments for tinnitus and sleep apnea in order to pay for other benefits, robbing Peter to pay Paul, so it seems. Yeah, so this is going back to HR 93, am I saying it right? 9237. So I text I have a family member who's going to be retiring from the Navy here in a few, next month. And I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, you know, have you already done your BDD claim? Like, have you already submitted all your stuff? Because this 9237, this was sometime last week before they actually stalled the thing out. I'm like, this 9237 is going to like change your sleep apnea and your tinnitus, you know, if you have any of that stuff. And I've heard this man sleep. He has sleep apnea. Like he came to visit me, and I'm like, dude, I woke up out of my room. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? And this dude's like, in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh, bro, are you okay? But yeah, man, it's going to lower it down. I think it was like God, I don't even know what I had put on there. Let me give you an accurate statement. Let me see here. It says sleep apnea and tinnitus changes. Right now, VA's rating schedule gives 50% for sleep apnea requiring a breathing assistance device like CPAP and 10% for recurrent tinnitus. HR 9237 would rewrite that. Sleep apnea would be 0% if asymptomatic, 10% when treatment gives incomplete relief, 50% only if treatment is ineffective or cannot be used due to comorbid conditions, and 100% only with an end organ damage. Tinnitus generally could no longer receive a separate compensable rating unless tied to service-connected hearing loss that is otherwise non-compensable. So a few changes there. I put it all on the post. It was like, if you go through it, you could, just swipe through 6 different pages, I think. It talks about existing ratings are protected, but future veterans take a hit. Veteran groups say it shifts costs onto future disabled veterans. It raises some VA home loan fees. The community care provision cut both ways. The process ultimately is a little bit messy. Yeah, Scotty J, man. Schofield Barracks. I was over on K-Bay, Marine Corps Base, Kaneohe Bay, so not too far away. Schofield was kind of in the middle of the island, I think. I went out there just maybe one time to go get like a plaque made, and never went back to Schofield again. I'm a layman on it at best, but listening to the loudest vocal groups talking it down and hearing the grief against American Legion that is supporting it, the only VSO that is, I hear. Yeah. And you got to wonder, like, why is there support on it? And there's more reading to be done, right? I'm the same as you, Navy cop. I'm a layman on this thing too. I mean, I've looked it up. I've kind of done some light research on it, but I'm also curious, like, hey, why is there a VSO who is supporting this? So very curious about that. Yeah, Tony Slaughter, anything to make getting your benefits more difficult. Yet if you let some Chad run up the thing, pop out babies, you get. Yeah, dude, I'll be honest, man. And John, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this too, man. Like, this thing is when it comes to money, things are being run like a business, right? And if things are not cost effective, they're going to start cutting corners. They're going to start cutting things out of the system in order to save money. Everything is about money, right? So a long time ago, when I was a young warthog, there was somebody who told me, hey, don't rely on the government for things. Don't rely, like, make your own path. Don't rely on the government. This was like an older, a leader that I had early in my Marine Corps career. And I kind of get it now. Like, I didn't understand it back then, but I kind of get it now. Like, if you put all your trust and faith in the government, you're going to lose. It's not going to work out well for you. Start making your own path. And there are too many people, I think, who put all their trust and faith in it. Yes, we get what we know, what we rate. We want the benefits that we earned. We don't want them cut. I get that. I completely get that. But this is why I established like my own, I have a business I run, on the side. I don't want to fully rely on this. I got a feeling like something's going to happen to my VA disability compensation at some point. I got a feeling that something's going to happen to my retirement pay at some point. Now they're coming out with, hey, no, you're actually subject to the UCMJ. If you say some stuff that we don't like, then and you're retired and receiving a payment from the government, like a retiree pension, then we can do something about that. We've already seen that happen. So yeah, I don't put all my chips on the government. I want to make sure that I have something else on the back end to live.
Yeah, I mean the bottom line of it is there's nothing is guaranteed forever, right? No matter how government backed it is or whatever it happens to be, like nothing lasts forever. It's evident, not so much in America, but if you look at other countries, other places in the world where the government is doing their best, they're taking care of their people, they're giving them some kind of health care, insurance, and whatever. And something happens and the government financial system collapses for whatever reason it happens to be. Then the government is number one priority is to keep the government running, however they need to do that. And if that means cutting things and cutting benefits and cutting health care and things for the people in order to keep the government alive, that's what happens. And that's the same in a business. It's the same in your house. Like if something happens in your house financially, right, you're going to make cuts naturally. You're going to be like, sorry, we're not going out to dinner once a week anymore. We got to stop buying XYZ products because they cost too much. We're going to go to generic white label products. We got to sell our car and buy a $2,000 island beater and drive that for a while. Like things have to change, sometimes drastically, because you don't know what happens. I mean, the stock market could crash and all of your investments could just tank, right? A lot of things can happen. So I think the thing to remember is, first, you're not in control of it, and second, if you are relying on any one entity or any one stream of income or any one person to be rock solid forever and ever and ever, I don't think that's realistic. I really don't.
It's not there. We can already see it here. I mean, things are getting cut left and right. And what's the one thing that happened a few months ago, and then they just stalled it as well because I can't remember. It was another bill. They stalled it as well because so many veterans were just like, coming out and talking about it and so against it. I can't remember what it was. It'll come to me. But oh man, I mean, these are things that we need to fight for, right? If we want things to be in place, the idea is, hey, veterans, come together, one unified voice, and let people know. I mean, not just to like these organizations like VFW, and I mean, I don't know how else we can get involved with this. I mean, standing in front of the Capitol and protesting, I don't know, but you got to let your voice be heard. I mean, if we just kind of go with the flow and like, hey, something will happen, the next guy will do it. Well, what if the next guy has the same idea? The next guy will do it. Then nobody does it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I mean, that's kind of one of my secret goals for all of this stuff that we're doing between myself, you, and all the other folks out there doing public facing speaking and things like that and talking, is to gather as many allies as I can in the fight, whether it's AMVETS or Hire Heroes USA, any of these USAA, like any of these organizations that have the amount of pull to help finance, help bolster, help sponsor things that need to be said and put out in the government. Because it would be great a day where an organization, it doesn't have to be AMVETS like we had on today with Tony, but it could be any organization that does lobbying in Congress, on Capitol Hill, to be able to have a platform that's just big enough where we can step into that fight from a social media perspective, right? And amplify that voice. I think that's where, at least from what I've been seeing over the last 20, 30, 40 years, as I've been observing and watching and paying attention, the most impact you can have is to stand together with a group of organizers and petitioners and be able to amplify that voice through social media channels. across the board. I mean, look at the election. Like we can say what we want about the election, and I'm not going to get into a political, standstill about it, but
Sure.
Joe Rogan had, the president on and a bunch of other people. Like, you can't tell me that didn't sway the vote. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have some kind of influence on the vote. Because then look now, a year later, 2 years later, Rogan's in White House talking with the president about psychedelics and rescheduling marijuana and like all these things, right? So I feel like that.
Oh, it absolutely does, man.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, social media is powerful, and especially channels like these other veteran channels out there are powerful. So with that, I mean, be very careful about what you listen to online, because you can be some folks try to manipulate things or word things a certain way. Not channels that I'm associated with or that we're associated with, but there's folks out there who give their 2 cents, and it might not be what you should be listening to. I'm not telling you what to listen to, just be careful. Let me see here. Scotty J, my man, is killing it out there, huh? I have 3 civilian retirements along with my VA. That's the way to do it, dude. That's the way to do it. I love that. Yeah. And I learned a lesson about that from an older gentleman in my family who does not really rely on the VA, does not rely on his really, he just has his military pension. He has his military pension. I don't think he has a VA rating, but he has another pension from working 20 years at Lockheed, so he's got that pension there. Social Security, and everywhere during his Navy career, everywhere he moved PCS to, for the most part, right around the States, he bought a house. So he has that income from about 3 different properties. So when I asked him one time, hey, do you you don't have a rating? Like we got to talk about VA disability stuff. He's like, yeah, I never looked into that. And mind you, this gentleman's like 90,
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, do you want me to help you with that? And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, oh, okay. Like it could be, I mean, he's 90, he's kind of set in his ways now. He doesn't want to go to appointments. He doesn't want to have to go to doctors if he doesn't have to, right? I completely understand that. I'm probably going to feel the same way when I'm 90 as well. He's got a nurse who comes and sees him every day, and that's all paid for through all the stuff outside of the government that he established, right? So he doesn't have to rely on, if he doesn't have to rely on the government. If he loses his military pension, which he probably won't, but if that should go away, he doesn't have to worry about it. He has all these other, civilian retirement and all these real estate homes that he purchased that are providing him income as well, plus Social Security and all that stuff. So I kind of took note of that. Like, yeah, he's not worried about what happens if the government takes this away. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm living my life. I'm good.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to know of the folks who don't, because I have friends as well. I had one on the show who doesn't necessarily believe in becoming a part of the VA healthcare system and getting VA disability benefits. And but I'm curious to find out, maybe this is something I need to write this down, to find out, like, of the people who have foregone their VA benefits, once they get to the official U.S. retirement age and are able to collect Social Security, do they then also collect Social Security or not? Because to me, it's 2 sides of the same coin. It's a social benefit. It's tied to, it's tied to paying taxes, but you pay taxes in many different ways, not just money, right? And I'd be curious to know if any of those folks who have hit that 55, 65, whatever the age is for collecting Social Security, who have
Mhm.
foregone the VA benefits, are they also foregoing the Social Security benefits? I'm guessing the answer is probably no in the majority of the cases.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they would. Hey, give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Two different things, right? VA benefits, and you got Social Security. Social Security is like the older age, right? Now there is a thing called SSDI, I believe.
Yep.
Which is you can get that. I only learned about this because somebody asked me about it on the military retirement group, and I'm like, what the hell is SSDI? So I looked it up real quick. Social Security disability something. So you could be like right out of the military and start receiving this stuff.
Yeah.
And I went on there just out of curiosity. I'm like, how much would I rate? And it was like in the 2000s a month. I was like, shit. And you can't bring in more than like 1,600 a month, or else they take that away from you. So I was like, and there's people who are requesting that. I mean, whether or not they rate it, I don't know. But the question was posed to me, and I'm like, I have not heard about that. Let me check it out. And I have to assume that there's people out there that start receiving that stuff, but that's different from regular Social Security.
Right.
Now, I've always heard people, when I was younger, like talking about Social Security, like, oh, I'll start receiving Social Security at 65 or whatever. I guess you've paid into that all your life, working. So why wouldn't you receive that? As far as the VA side of things, yeah, you paid into that kind of with your service to the country. So you kind of rate it, but there's so much, it's hard to get appointments sometimes. Like I'll put my experience in here, like optometry. I went to optometry about 2 weeks ago. They told me the first appointment to get an optometry eye exam is in October.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And the guy told me October. I'm like, huh? Like what? Like October. I'm like, at that point, I'll just go down the street and, use my wife's insurance and get an eye exam, and then bring the prescription over, and then pick my free glasses, my free lenses and stuff.
Yep.
So there's a huge block in the VA with trying to get into appointments, man. It's a freaking pain, dude. It's a pain. Just like my doctor told me, hey, look, you got to go downstairs. We got you this med, so you got to go downstairs and get blood work. Dude, I was sitting there for the place was packed. I was sitting there for an hour already. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get in to get my blood work in less than, 3 hours. I have 2 more hours to wait at least. The place was packed. So I'm like, I'll just come back another time. It's so backed up, and they probably need a lot more people.
Yeah, a lot more people, and yeah, it's I agree. It's definitely not because Social Security, right? It's pretty much automatic at a certain age, as long as you've been paying taxes. The VA benefits are definitely something you have to work for. You have to put in a little bit more effort, and it's frustrating. It's not like you just fill out a form and then you sign and then you're done. Like you've got to do a whole lot of work on the back end in a lot of cases. So yeah, I can see that side of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still like 20 something years away from receiving any kind of 20 plus years away from receiving any kind of Social Security. So I'm not really thinking about it. Though, I mean, it would be nice to receive that, provided that is still available in my older age. It'd be nice to receive that, because that would just help cushion the lifestyle, right? Like maybe I don't have to work as hard anymore, or have these businesses anymore, and things like that. So hopefully we'll see. And that's something I talked to my parents about too, because they're about to receive it here in a few years. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
My second cup of coffee. I can't stay away from this stuff. Arigato gozaimasu. So yeah, it's something I talk to them about often, and they're like, oh yeah. But the thing is, some people have the mentality of not wanting to stop working, right? Like my father being one of them. He doesn't want to stop working. He's like, yeah, I'll be in my mid 60s, but I don't want to stop. It's like, that's the purpose. So curious about that too. Like, when do you stop working? When do you call it like quits and just lay on the beach and, just chill? I'd get bored.
Yeah.
I'd have to travel.
Yeah, I don't think laying on the beach and hanging out is exactly the end state, the end goal, but
Hell no.
I think it depends on the type of work and how fulfilling it is to you, how much it actually gives back to you as a person, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, how much you actually get back from doing that kind of work. Are you doing work for a greater purpose, bigger than yourself? Like those kind of things, I think, factor into how long you're going to actually work. Because if you're in a situation where you're working for something that's much bigger than you, that's fulfilling your life, that's bringing you joy doing the work, I could see myself doing that forever.
Yeah. And I'm curious to hear from folks in the comments too. Like, if you could do something in your older age that would bring you purpose and passion, what would it be? Like, when it comes time to like actually settle down and retire, what do you see yourself doing? And I'll ask you the same thing, John. What do you see yourself doing in old age? What would bring you purpose, you think?
Yeah, I mean, the push for me is trying, and also not the push, because I don't have that mentality of just go, drive, and go crazy mentality.
Yeah.
It's just not my mentality.
You've adopted that European mentality, is what you're telling me.
I think I was born with that European mentality. I think that's what it is.
Good.
That and my procrastination doesn't always help, but I want things to work, but I don't feel like I need to drive them into the ground and force them to work. I think it's kind of my view on it. If I can do anything, I would love to continue to do this and just make it bigger and better, but I know that it takes time. I know that it's not a fast process always. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. In my case, it's not. That's just the way it is. I really want to do this, and I really want to be able to help as many veterans as I can, whether that's physically in person one at a time, or doing this full time at some point. And if I can manage the bills and still provide income to my family, I would do this like nonstop. I totally enjoy doing this, and we've been doing it for, I don't know, at least 2 years together. A couple of years before that, I was doing it on my own, and it's something I don't get tired of. Like even on the worst day, right? It could be bad audio and the signal's bad and the Wi-Fi drops out, and you got to restart the recording every few minutes if you're recording, or if you're on the live stream, you got to just figure it out. Even on those days, on the worst days, I still walk away satisfied. It's one of the few things in my life that I walk away satisfied with, is probably doing this stuff, helping out veterans, talking to veterans, spending time with veterans, also in person, and probably swimming and taking pictures. Like, that's the 3 things that I would do.
I love that, man. I really do. And I feel the same way you do. There's very few things in my life that are consistent for like years. I mean, there was the military, right? But I had a goal there. There's like hanging out with kids. Yeah, that's kind of a given. I want to be a good father. But aside from that, like I'll get spurts of things, like spurts of interesting things. And it's like, cool, I'll do this. I'll read about all these Stoic books, and then I'll take a break from that. And then I'll go draw some stuff, because I really like drawing, right? I really like artwork and stuff. And, it just comes in different spurts. But this is a constant, dude. This reaching out, connecting with vets, podcasts, talking, live streams, YouTube videos. This is a constant. I don't see myself getting tired of this anytime soon. Similar to you, like this is where I live. I need this in my life.
Yeah, I think I'll caveat that by saying, if I can remain in creative control of it, if it doesn't get a big sponsor or somebody buys the show or something crazy like that happens, I want to remain in complete creative control, whether they like it or not, whether they think it's going to work or not. Like I just want to be able to do what I want to do on my terms, and then I can continue doing it. So other than something like that happening, I can definitely continue doing this forever.
Yeah, dude, you hit the nail on the head there, man. I think creative control. This company I run, Undercover Clip, was a few years ago. This other guy who runs another kind of military type of startup, I guess, selling military items. He was a lieutenant colonel. He offered to buy the company and keep me, or buy 51% of the company to get, control of it, and first buy me out and then buy 51% of the company. And I'm like, no, it's too good of a thing. Like, I make daily sales on this stuff, and then try to offer me like this nice package and all that stuff. Oh, we'll keep you on, we'll give you this control, this and that. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that, so I'm gonna have to refuse. I'm gonna have to say no, thank you, and just move on. But yeah, that's huge, man. Is especially like sponsors. Like, I have sponsors on the green logbook, but I make it known to them, like, hey, I got creative control of this, right? Like, I'm not going to put your company down. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm not going to do crazy and just wig out, man, on the live stream or these recordings. I'm going to keep it cool. I'm going to give you guys your airtime, and that's what it is, and I vet the sponsors to make sure that it's something that I want to be using, and it's something that I want to put in front of my audience. So creative control is huge, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me look at these comments here real quick. Scotty J, combative is patient specialist for 3 hospitals in Southern Oregon. Wow. Where in Oregon? I'm curious. I went to Oregon last year. Beautiful place, man. Beautiful. I loved my time there. We went to Tillamook, but we stayed in Oceanside, Oregon. Just the rugged beauty. It was just amazing. We went up to Cannon Beach and all that, where they filmed like the Goonies. Big Goonies fan, by the way. So I was freaking when I saw those Cannon Beach. I don't know what you call those mountains in the water, but it was beautiful, man. Beautiful. Navy cop, just received my annual Social Security notice in the email. I'll have found a retire. I will be eligible for $2.76 and a few McDonald's coupons per month. God.
Amazing.
Oof. They couldn't even upgrade you to like Popeyes, like McDonald's. Come on. Let me see here. It's all about it's all about not working for a paycheck, but working to build out my passion. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Yep.
And I think Navy Cop's passion kind of aligns with what ours is, or what you mentioned as well, like helping vets out. You mentioned that he does want to be like a coach, a mentor to vets. So, and he brings a lot to the table too, so very, very knowledgeable guy. Patrick PNW. John, crazy timing. Just talked to my bud, OIF one guy with one MEF who refused VA benefits. I don't think he plans to take SS either, Social Security, even though he paid in big time. He's now 66, will work till dead. Wow. OIF one guy. Wow, with one MEF. And so he was there, OIF 1. He was there at the beginning then, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, I was OIF 5, I think. So I wasn't there at the first push, man. But wow. And refused VA benefits. I'm curious, like VA benefits as in like VA compensation as well? Like, did he refuse to like sign up for VA compensation? That's there's one thing not going to the VA clinics. Another thing is, hey, I don't want any VA stuff at all. So Scotty J, keeping it real here. I'm 68 years old and still volunteer at the local elementary school as a teacher for 3rd and 4th grade history and math to just keep it going. That's awesome, dude. I love that. Giving back and kind of helping to raise the younger generation. They need it, dude. They need it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Navy Cop is still on that. Yeah, I love that idea. 20 acres in Idaho Rockies with a few tiny homes for vets to come out to de-stress while supporting veterans through mentoring and coaching. Hell yes. I love that. Have a big bonfire there right in the middle. Share some stories. I love that, dude. I'll stay out there. That's awesome.
Yeah. You finally get all that stuff straightened out with the move. I don't want to put his business out there on the internet.
On the live stream now. Can't think of anything more satisfying, more relaxing than sitting off grid near a fire with a small group of vets, listening to wildlife and seeing the stars without light pollution from the city. Oh, dude, that's amazing. You hit it right on the head, dude. No loud noise. Just listen to the wildlife. Yeah, that's amazing. Let me see here. It says I got SSDI before my VA benefits. Oh man, so yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Somebody was asking me about SSDI in the military retirement group on Facebook, and that caused me to want to do a lot of research on that. And I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I thought it was just Social Security, but apparently it is. Yeah, 0 VA disability GI Bill. Wow.
Nice.
In this age right now, in this age where we are, in this like 2026, 2025, you don't see that too often with people just saying, I don't want any VA compensation. I don't want anything GI Bill. I just want to do my own thing. Yeah, you don't see that too often. Somebody did mention in one of my comments and one of the videos that like even recruiters now are using that VA disability as like a recruiting tool. Like, hey, look, after you do 40 years and you can potentially get VA disability. Like, that's a recruiting tool now. That's crazy. Okay, I'm working on him. So he isn't sleeping on my couch. He loves the grind and takes nothing from anyone. No, I love that dude. It's the dude's powering through, and but at some point, you're gonna want those benefits, man. Especially if you work so hard to earn them. Tony Slaughter, good to have you, buddy. Have a good day, buddy.
Yeah, take it.
All right,
easy,
John.
Tony.
What do you got going on for the rest of the day, John? And then we'll kind of bring down the show a little bit.
Yeah. I only got really one little takeaway for those hardcore folks who stuck around to the very end. And if you need to forward this to your other hardcore folks that might not have seen it, I mentioned a few weeks back. I reached out to a company that I have been dealing with for many years. I stumbled upon this kind of hobby, and I dove into it head first, and I started to learn how to do things with it. The company's called Sparrows. They make lockpicking kits, and they are, I won't say the whole company is built by veterans, but it's generally the EOD type veterans who have worked with locks and explosives and escape and evasion and those kind of things. So I just recently found out that they do a big event every year where they bring in a bunch of people from all over the country, probably from all over the world, and they have this event where they do lock picking, they do classes about alarms and cameras, about impersonation, about breaching buildings, about how to handle guns tactically, about seer type training, all kinds of different things that they do, which sounds really, really interesting if you're still in uniform and you're a go-getter and you're 25. But I think even for the even for the older folks out there, I mean, you were in the military before, right? So this has got to be interesting to you, even in the smallest sense of the word. So just to put it out there, they're doing a thing in September 17th through the 20th in Carson City. It's called Rocka Locka Bang Bang. You can look it up online. I'm not going to put any links online for that. But I did reach out to them and talk to them. I own a couple of their lockpicking kits. Lockpicking is a very interesting, fun hobby. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of focus. And once you start doing it, it's very addictive, and you want to just pick every lock. So, but be careful out there in the wild. Don't pick the wrong locks. But I did reach out to them, and they said, yeah, we'd be willing to throw a nice little lock picking set your way for your audience. So I wanted to figure out a way to do that in a fair way without it being some kind of lottery or buy this or buy that, and then you're entered to win. I just put up a little QR code on the screen there. If you can see it, it's right above my head right here. And if you scan that, or if you want, I can drop the link in the chat as well. But it's just a quick little form. It's email address, name, and then there's a question on the form. And based on the best answers to that question, we will go through and figure out who the winner is. And then we'll reach out to you, hopefully if you've left your email and or telephone number so we can reach out to you. And I will have Sparrows send their nice little gift package directly to your doorstep. I can tell you, at least from what I saw, from what they told me, I have a very similar kit, and it's a really nice kit. I don't have it with me because I don't have my backpack because my room is destroyed. But it's a cool little kit, and it comes with some neat stuff, and it'll definitely get you out the door learning how to pick locks, how to figure things out too as well. It's a very transferable skill to figuring out things in the world. Picking locks is one of those skills that I think transfers to a lot of different things in life. So that's that.
Right.
If you want it, it's right there above my head somewhere right there. Just scan it. You can go to the form, fill it out. And then once we determine we've got enough entries in there, we'll read through them all and see which one is the best. We'll pick that out. We'll reach out to you, and we will send that kit to your doorstep.
That's very cool. Very cool. And this form here, I'm on the form right now. Is this something that Sparrow Lock created, or is this something that internal?
I created it. It's my form.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, definitely enter and see if you can win one of these Sparrow Lockpick kits. That's cool. I haven't checked them out before, but now I have an incentive to do that. So I'm not, of course, I'm not going to enter it. I mean, we're part of it ourselves, so I'm not entering the freaking contest. But yeah, it's very cool to be able to connect with organizations, with companies, and give stuff like this away. Similarly, I'll be doing something like that as I near a milestone mark on the green logbook. I'll be doing a little giveaway type thing as well. Just right there on the cusp of 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Don't do it for the subscriber count. I just do it because I really enjoyed just putting out the information. So yes, probably be giving away some stuff, maybe a gift pack, coffee, and a t-shirt, and I don't know, a notebook or something, like just a whole gift pack. So more to come on that one as I put that all together. Maybe cop. Oh, wait, as a moderator, am I excluded as well? I don't think you're excluded, man.
Hell no.
I think you're good to go, buddy. Go ahead.
I don't think anybody's excluded because nobody here is on the payroll. So I'm just saying.
Oh, man. Macrame. They called you out, John. Macrame.
Macrame. Very old school. Oops.
Yeah. So with that, yeah, man, it was a great show today. We got a chance to talk to Tony and Steve from AMVETS. They gave us some insight on what AMVETS does, what they're doing for the veteran community. It's veterans. It's about veterans supporting veterans. I understand that the VA may not be the quickest working organization out there, and that's why there are other veteran organizations that kind of step in to help out. And hey, if you can, support them. If you want to, support them. They're there for us, for the vets, right? So definitely do that. What else did we get into? We got into Social Security and in life later on, purpose later on in life. We talked about what Sparrow Locks a little bit, entering this contest here. What else did we bring up, John, that for the recap?
We talked about a couple public laws and a couple things that are going through the Hill that are getting kind of stifled a little bit or getting some interesting feedback on.
HR 9237.
Yeah, 9237. We talked about In a Soldier's Shoe Foundation, I believe. Soldier's Shoe, inasoldiershoe.org, which is kind of interesting. We're going to try to reach out to them and see if we can make some things happen. Wellness Warriors, we mentioned them. Just actually really great. And a thank you to Tony and the team out there at AMVETS. I saw in the comments, not everybody's a fan, but not everybody's a fan of everything. So some people like yogurt, some people don't like yogurt. It is what it is. But they are definitely working with vets, doing things for vets. It sounds like they're forward leaning and trying to lean into like he mentioned, the 21st century, try to bring things a little bit more modern. And they're definitely reaching out to organizations that look like they're doing some of that. So that's really interesting to hear. If anybody else knows a VFW commander or a Legion commander or anybody else who wants to shoot our contact information to them or shoot their contact information our way, just let us know. We'd love to talk to them, because that is kind of the future purpose-driven organization for veterans. As we get older and get out of service, we need to be able to look to those local community organizations. I mean, I remember them growing up as a kid, doing things around the community, and it wasn't just with veterans. It was like they would invite the whole community. And so I feel like those organizations are important to not just the military and the veteran community, but also to the community at large where they actually reside. It bridges that gap, right, between civilians and military. So, yeah. Other than that,
awesome stuff. Yeah, great podcast, great recording today, great live stream. Thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you everybody for staying with us. A lot of great stuff. I'll be putting out some more videos this week, and don't forget to stop by for the Veterans Trivia, which I'm looking to schedule for Wednesday again. Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Veterans Trivia. I don't know what it's going to be this time around. I got a lot of people asking for different things. So we will see. It takes a little while to generate all this stuff. So hopefully some folks out there can stop by and join in on the fun. So with that, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for staying with us and supporting the Military Retirement Podcast. Really appreciate having you here. All right. Out here.